Well, good morning, everyone. Just want to give you guys an update here on the tropics. We're watching a few features right now, and one of them could give us some heavy rainfall potential in West Texas. It's great news because we are under a drought after all, and we could take any possible rainfall that we can get here across the area. We'll get to that drought monitor here in just a little bit. Right now, just want to give you a quick update on the tropics. This is a tropical wave, but I was thinking about the name for a second. It doesn't have a name system with it as of yet, but what it is classified as of right now is Invest 91L. And what that means is that the National Hurricane Center is watching this system very carefully for the possibility of it developing into a tropical depression or a tropical storm. And the Air Force hurricane hunters are scheduled to investigate this system to see if it is going to be developing into a depression or storm. So we're going to watch this very carefully for you. As of right now, dumping a lot of heavy rain here across the eastern Gulf of Mexico. As you can see, the nearby Doppler radar sites across Florida are definitely picking that up. And we also see dumping lots of heavy rain here for parts of the southern Florida Peninsula coming up from the east and moving right across the Florida Peninsula there. Also here are to the west, or to the south rather, western tip of Cuba getting some heavy rain, the Florida Keys as well. And this system over the last few hours have actually becoming a little bit better organized with this system. As you can see, the low-level clouds here moving counterclockwise and feeding into a possible low-level center of circulation. And anytime we see that, that means that the system is starting to organize here a little bit. So it could become possible that we may see our next tropical depression or storm here within the next, say, 24 to 48 hours. The chances are continuing to increase if we see this more gradual organization. The upper level winds are very favorable. We have plenty of moisture here in the Gulf of Mexico for the system to really tap into, because we see a lot of warm ocean waters associated in this area as well. So definitely a good possibility that the system could be strengthening. And we also have some of the computer models which are indicating the same thing as well. We're going to take you through the European computer forecast model, which shows that the system strengthening here into the Gulf of Mexico as we head into Thursday afternoon. It's a very large system here the European model here is showing, but keep in mind some of this is probably just some rain bands as well. Near the center is probably where this low stamp here is located, and it's going to continue to move its way towards the west. We will see this impact near the Texas coast by around Saturday morning, and this particular model does show the system becoming more of a tropical storm in nature, or a tropical depression or a tropical storm. So it looks like the Texas coast may be looking at a tropical system making landfall there, and then afterwards it's going to continue to move its way towards the west, and what's ever left of it could be impacting West Texas as we head into, let's say, maybe Sunday and then possibly into early next week. Here is another model showing something similar as we head into time. This is the American computer model, and this particular model does continue moving its way towards the west as well. It doesn't really strengthen it a whole lot, but what it does do is it moves its way up towards the Texas coast, and you can see it dumping plenty of heavy rain to parts of Louisiana, the Louisiana coast, that is, the Texas coast. And again, what's ever left of the system by the time it makes its way inland into Texas is really not a whole lot, right? But there is still some heavy rain to areas, let's say Corpus Christi, Del Rio, Houston, and then some of that energy may try to sneak its way here into West Texas, and hopefully it does do that, because we could definitely use some tropical moisture to give us a better chances of rain here. Obviously, we don't want a whole lot at one point, because that would not be good for any type of flooding concerns. But you can see we really need the rain in West Texas. I mean, we have anywhere from a moderate drought to a severe status D3 drought. That's not good. From southeast New Mexico, Permian Basin, the Trans-Pecos Mountains. So we definitely need that rain that the tropical system could offer us here in the coming days. So something to watch for right now. Nothing to be too concerned about, but it is just something that we have to monitor here for some possible showers, maybe thunderstorms, and maybe even a chance of some flooding across West Texas. It all depends on the exact track and strength of the system as it moves in. Now, way into the eastern Atlantic, we have another named storm. We have another named storm that we can cross off the list. This is the 7th named storm of the hurricane season, and which, by the way, this is the earliest 7th named storm on record for the Atlantic hurricane season. So we are off to a very busy start here in the Atlantic hurricane season, and this particular storm is really coming together. I mean, it's very consolidated. There's even an eye feature trying to show up here if you look closely right around there at that point as the visible here imagery becomes more defined, and that is a significant sign that the storm is strengthening. We also have plenty of strong banding features as well wrapping around this counterclockwise storm, so it's going to continue to strengthen here, at least in the short term, but or at least most models indicate that it's not going to be strengthening in the long term. Let me go ahead and show you what we're talking about. This is the official forecast track from the National Hurricane Center, and you see it becomes a Category 1 hurricane heading into early tomorrow morning as it moves its way towards the west, which, by the way, that will be the season's first hurricane of the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season already. Now, beyond this time, it will move toward the west in the general direction of the southern Leeward Islands. This is something that our neighbors here are going to have to be watching in the Caribbean Sea for a possible tropical storm strike, dumping lots of heavy rain and some gusty winds. We could see sustained winds here of around 70 miles per hour, according to the Hurricane Center. Now, afterwards, it will move directly into the central Caribbean Sea, and this will weaken down just to a little bit, around 45 miles per hour. Again, this is subject to change as of right now, but this is something that West Texas does not have to be concerned about, but definitely our friends here and neighbors in the Caribbean more than likely are going to have to be watching this for a possible tropical storm affecting them here into time. So something to watch out for them. Again, it's just another sign that the hurricane season is underway, and at least one of these systems, West Texas, has to be concerned about for possible heavy rains. This is the conclusion of your tropical update here on Big 2 News, and thanks for listening.